What's up, everybody? It's your girl BK here on a Monday night. Getting ready to tell you some dumb shit. Some real shit. Some good shit. And some of our shit. So, to my right, I have Chance.
All right. How y'all doing tonight?
All right, we ready to go. I think we're ready to go here. So let's get straight to it, because man, I need to get this dumb shit out. But first, we always start with some good shit. I need to hear some good shit today. How are you doing today, Chance?
I'm doing pretty good. We got some good shit here today. And in a groundbreaker move, Norway has become the first country in the world to ban deforestation.
Ban deforestation in Norway? Wow. I wonder what impacts that are going to have.
The deal involves Norway paying West Africa $150 million to essentially stop deforestation. The country agreed to place 30% or more of its forests under protection, fire protection through 2020. And I'm guessing they're gonna eventually set a process as to what happens if when the first occurrence is, right, and what will be dealt with at that time and place. But just a confirmation that it's happening.
Awesome. All right, Norway, 30%. So they're paying West Africa, to protect 30% of their wildlife, their trees, and to future protection of pretty much our oxygen throughout 2020. So that's pretty awesome. Next up, dumb shit. Let's talk about some dumb shit. I had some dumb shit happen to me today. I called to get my debit card number from my account. I pay for this account. I put the money in this account. I put the money that's on this card. I pay the people who are securing my account. I pay to have my account secured so that I can have my own information given to only me, right? Protection for my information for only my eyes. I shit you not. I walk in. I spent 3 hours on the phone calling my insurance company to get my my HSA debit card number. But for my protection, not one person out of the 10 people that I called has the ability to see my number, nor do I, after completely validating who I am with my social, my ID, where I live, everything. And they said for my protection, I could not see my own information for my own debit card number. They would give me my bank account number and the routing number, but they would not give me my debit card number. So let's go where this is a problem. So then we go into CVS to get a prescription I've been waiting 2.5 weeks for. Because CVS only accepts debit card numbers. I'm literally sitting here with my bank account number and my routing number wanting to pay for my medication. And they won't accept my bank account information, but they will only accept my debit card information. Are you serious right now? That's like going to KFC chicken and they ain't have no chicken. All right, let's move on to some taboo shit. So the purpose of taboo. First of all, Mr. Taboo Schitt is a stuffed animal. He's my stuffed animal taboo baboon. The world has created this elephant in a room, and I call him my taboo baboon. He is the one that sucks in everything I ever think about and want to say, but society tells me not to. And just manners. Just ways you need to say things, how you critique people, how you need to pat them on the back, give them a little kiss on the cheek, and then tell them they're doing a bad job. How you have to sugarcoat everything and go around the bushes before you actually tell people what's wrong. Or you have questions about things, but if you ask questions, then you get in trouble or people get mad at you. So I have created Taboo Schitt podcast to represent my taboo baboon that held all those things inside of him, and he releases it in his own energy, and he is just my peace meta taboo baboon. So I am dedicating this to him because he will be the mascot of this podcast, and it's my way of letting my free speech out. So I see an absolute detrimental loss happening every day with people in this so-called better system of the United States of America. I watch people as I grew up in school not giving two craps about the education system, but really learning very quick who you know is all it's really about. I've learned and watched how people click together and how those kids that are pushed out for no reason other than they were born this way. And I am one of those people that was pushed out. I am one of those people who were told is different, or either I'm not good enough, or or told I'm special, and then find out there's a difference between being special in what you want to be and being special in what you are special in, created to be. And there's a difference in the abilities we have versus our capabilities. Like, we may be capable as a human being to doing different things, but it doesn't mean we have the ability to. And I think that's a big thing as well that society does not teach us. They teach us we have all these opportunities, yet you got to jump through hoops and all these rules, all these things to even get it. I mean, since when was a dream something you had to just put in a box? I thought a dream was something bigger than that. Taboo Schitt sees those who fall through the systems. Why is it we made this prison system to hold prisoners that are doing bad things, but then we realize we're not helping them be good? And then we try to help them be good, but you put them around other people that are bad. So you put their influences and their environment around other environments that influence these same things that they're doing wrong. And then you try to put classes in those environments, and they're just so ready to get out of those environments. They do these classes and stuff, which is a great thing. It's not just because they want to learn, they want to grow, but they can't even get out of the prison system without a record telling every single person, hey, I used to do this, or hey, I was a bad guy once. It's like, if anybody put on their resume a list of mistakes they've made in their lives and had to walk around with it, I guarantee it's a lot less than the ones that are the addicts. Just saying. And I bet if you compared them on why you did them, the addicts would show survival mechanisms and survival actions, and we would not. We would show manipulation. We would show all kinds of different types of situations in which we made our mistakes that could be a lot worse than just doing things to eat, doing things to find a bed to sleep in where nobody steals your shit, to have a pillow. I see mental health in this life being passed by, and I do see our generation, don't get me wrong, I see our generation fighting for mental health, but we are not nearly prepared to provide it, let alone should we get the government involved. They can't even handle what we have now. You think they can handle a mental health crisis? There's no way. They weren't even built for this, let alone built for what they're doing. My purpose with Taboo Schitt is also, I really see how employers, all these structures, processes, all these different structures just constantly, I feel like we're being bounded in these boxes. And we're actually stunting ourselves from growing and inspiring and being better than what we are due to what we are trying to write down and label and categorize as if there is no bigger box. It's frustrating. I am only 31 years old and I see things for what they are, and it astonishes me how so many do not see things in the bigger scope. Why are all of our jobs based upon resumes and and these and these work experiences? Our work experience just comes from places and environments that we didn't create. We didn't suggest to be around. We didn't ask these people to be our mates, to be our work partners. We didn't we didn't do any of this. We jumped into a situation that we are supposed to expect is running through a very structured process that works, yet it doesn't work, and we're supposed to be able to mold to it, but it's already not working. Okay, so we're all individuals, like I say all the time. So you can't structure individuals or find those rainbows from being and doing the same things the same way every time. My purpose in creating Taboo Schitt and Creative Uniques is to empower those who society deems disabled, branded as with a record, attached baggage, categorized and labeled, to prove every individual has value to offer. Why not employ somebody because they can't be reliable? What are you doing right here in this 24 hours? How can I use you in this 24 hours? That's what I need. People aren't using people in the 24 hours. They are judging them by their past and projecting their future, and they can't use what they are willing to give that day and at their interview. I don't know about you, but I know every time I interview and every time I get ready and every time I fill out a job application, that's work. I'm working and not getting paid for it, and I have to look in front of you who might pay me, but I have to do all this work just to get you to look at me. And then I have to have all this other stuff. They're there that day, that 24 hours, doing nothing but walking from place to place, try to get people to accept them for what's on a piece of paper, and they have that whole 24 hours just sitting there going from place to place. What could they have done in that 24 hours? I don't care if you aren't reliable. If you can get to a phone and you need $10, I got an hour of work for you to do. That's okay. I propose to do all these things to empower and raise employment opportunities to those people who society says are disabled or who can't or hardly be employed. Did you know that most of disabled people are only given manufacturer jobs and like machinery work, as if we can't use other parts of our human knowledge and understanding of our own being to be of value any other way? I hope to use Taboo Schitt to connect with other businesses to help train and employ others that are disabled, that are falling through the cracks, and show people and businesses everywhere, that there is value in every single person in any different way. It doesn't matter. And they are there interviewing. That means they have 24 hours right then to help you. And they're wanting that money right then. And they are just waiting to go through the process. Give them that work, put them on contract, pay them. That's where we're missing the opportunities to grow in life, is what's in the present. With Creative Uniques, I would like to offer a unique opportunity to build a business for the unemployable. Offer a way to empower those businesses to connect and grow the values in those people. And I believe organic reach through word of mouth on a podcast and through the website and our retail business will really be the forums to get this really out there. Yes, it's taboo to talk about these things. Nobody wants to talk about the things that people struggle with, but the things that people struggle with are the exact things where we need to go through to learn to succeed in the long term. I mean, by not addressing them and not discussing them and finding other options, perspectives, and knowledge about what it feels and how things are heard and how things are said and what they make other people feel. We will never grow as a society. We'll only grow individually and will not connect. We can't grow with each other that way. I hope my audience brings business owners, nonprofit communities, nonprofits, and online connections to build this community of beautiful rainbows that are just not being recognized every day. I don't think you need to be a reliable employee every single day to be of value. I believe if I have a phone number and somebody needs work, they would call it for labor work. I believe that people that can't read, I can teach to take a picture. I believe that someone that is a hoarder is the person I want to talk to about what my item is that I'm trying to sell. I have created a business through resale of buying things at low prices and flipping them at higher prices. I would like to make that a retail business. To not only be in person to show the world what we're doing, but also to be the front for what I want to do externally through our business online. For the people that struggle with social anxiety, people who get anxious around people, why are they have to fall into this system? Why can't they be the people that are connectors? They reach out to people on Instagram for my business that I need to, that they see somebody doing something really awesome. Say they're making things that are recycled, repurposed items and using what they're doing to grow something else in society. That's what I want to know. And those people don't even have to talk to anybody. All they do is find those people and say, "Wow, what an awesome process and inspiration your work is." And once they start writing back, "I'm the connector. I'm the one who does all that. I just need a person to connect." Just think what you can do with that and pay people like that. They don't even have to leave their house. What about the schizophrenics? You know, we go to sleep every night and we wake up from our nightmares. They live with their nightmares. How do you work like that? They're the brave ones. They should have more options than what we give them. And have the audacity to think that one government could even encompass all that is needed for individuals of the United States of America, let alone the world. We'll be having a video coming out here soon on Creative Uniques. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram. Taboo Schitt has an Instagram. Creative Uniques has an Instagram. You'll see us jumping back and forth. We have videos showing you how to find items that are cheap and flip them for money. I have an entire 100 square foot room full, top to bottom, of vintage items. I'm going to go through one by one to show you how much they're worth, where I flipped them, why I flipped them. I've only spent $1,500 up until the vlog videos that you see at the beginning. And I have paid myself back twice over, living paycheck to paycheck. And I have an entire room filled, ready to go to build a retail facility to empower those that society says are powerless or that only limit their power. There is no limit. I want to create a business that's limitless, of value being given in all ways in life. I want the business to be interactive and just completely outside the box. Man sharpens man, completely ran by those people think just because you can't read you don't have value. Just because you can't read doesn't mean you're not a good manager and you can't run people's personality types and how they balance one another. It's a whole nother type of technique, a whole nother type of talent, a whole nother type of skill that somebody who's very analytical may not understand, but somebody who's a feeler that may not be able to read, but they can see. Just because they can't read doesn't mean they can't see. Body language is a heck of a lot more important than any words that come out of people's mouths, because people lie. People are fake. I just really want to bring into focus that there's so much more of value, and I'm really frustrated how all these businesses are willing to take one good skill of yours and not use the rest. Why limit it? All right. Time for some real shit on Taboo Schitt. Let's elaborate a little bit about this Taboo Schitt, in which I am promoting and bringing to light these issues and building a business of creative uniques to better enhance those who are slipping through the cracks. In our world today, technology does most of the lifting, the heavy lifting. In the Industrial Revolution, muscles did most of the heavy lifting from its workers. The Information Age traded muscle for mental capacity, which explains the rise of knowledge workers. Education. The future will require workers to be emotionally intelligent. Emotional intelligence is the capacity to be aware, control, and express one's emotions, and to handle interpersonal relationships judiciously and empathetically. As the world fills with more sophisticated AI technologies, human skills, compassion, empathy, etc., will define the competitive edge of workers and entire organizations. So, let me ask you this, Taboo viewers: do you believe our society and how we run it and all of its processes that it's in charge of, do you believe that we are creating the emotional intelligence we need to be what is required in this AI world moving forward? I mean, I think there's some important questions we need to ask ourselves. I mean, I understand people are saying there's a lot of a mental health crisis, but honestly, I don't believe it's a mental health crisis as much as we're evolving and we're not learning coping skills, and we're actually 10 years advanced in our knowledge compared to our emotional knowledge. And it's causing a really big divide in our connection with elders, in which they're supposed to be guiders and guidance counselors, helpers, through this life. But instead, we've created this superiority and putting people on pedestals and creating these systems and family systems, when really there's nothing really different between us, except some people are here just a few years before we were. Now let's talk about our society processes and what the top 6 missing job skills are. Number 1 is problem solving, critical thinking, innovation, and creativity. I would love to know what y'all think and how y'all think we have this missing skill. Number 2, the ability to deal with complexity, the depths in which a situation will affect not only you but others. Number 3, which I would think would be number 1, is communication. 31%. Which again, I gotta say, has a lot to do with society's processes and labeling how they believe things should be ran, like families, and putting people on pedestals, doing what people say, when I believe it shouldn't be dictatorial. It should be more guiding, and teachers and hand in hand, like learning and developing. Communication is a lot by not body language and behaviors that don't even involve talking. And in our society that I've known, words mean nothing. It's all about actions. Number 4 is the trade skills. Like plumbing, welding, machining, sewing, some kind of skill. Which, I don't know. I think everybody can have a skill. You don't have to be taught a skill. I think you're born with an ability, and if you in that you are just needing the right opportunities to discover it. In my experience, anyway. Also, something Taboo Schitt really is doing with Creative Nick's business is I would love to travel and help people learn trades and help people learn what maybe their hobbies and their interests, how they can use it to promote a value to the economy and themselves, and they have fun doing it and not needing, create their own skill, their own individual skill. It doesn't have to be just quote unquote the skills of society. They say 20% that we miss the skill of data analysis. Number 6, the missing skills would be science, engineering, and the medical, which I could totally see this because I'll say Sadhguru said it himself the best. We are all trying to figure this life out, and we have not even read the instruction manual of our own selves. Outside problems are one thing, but there should never be a problem with us, ourselves. There can be issues coming at us, but we should be good in ourselves. So let's go back talking about the heavy lifting that this new generation is going to need to be emotionally equipped for. New jobs, meaning those not killed off by automation, requiring substantially more social skills than the manufacturing and factory jobs. Even Bank of America has developed a national training program to help its employees show empathy. Empathy is being able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. and not see them as just part of your job, a number, just somebody, having empathy for others. A good thing, in fact, 90% of employers say they are open to accepting non traditional candidates that do not hold 4-year degrees. How about that? So, are everybody telling you go to school, go to school, go to school? I mean, it tells you right here they are open to non traditional candidates that don't hold 4-year degrees, that they're actually trying to find those with 2-year degrees. Actively looking for 2-year degrees. That's because 40% of employers believe artificial intelligence will help fill the skill gap. So they're saying we only need at max a education height of an associate's degree, because AI is going to be that heavily lifting our economy in the future.
With AI, it's a man-made intelligence that is unexplainably powerful. And what do you think that is gonna amount to for the earth and everyone on it, Of course, in a society, AI seems like absolutely, incredible. I mean, it is in ways, but no, it's not. Like, there's pros and cons, yeah.
Exactly. There's a catch-22 to everything. I mean, wherever good there's bad, and every bad there's good. Every failure there's success, and in every success you learn something new. You learn how to fail better, how Gary Vee would say. Social and emotional skills are more necessary and valuable because they are the skills robots can't automate. In today's fast world, hard skills have a short shelf life, but strengthening the social and emotional skills of your workforce will never go out of style, and soft skills are more transferable across careers and industries. Think about that. Our society is building a youth that's not emotionally ready for an emotionally advantaged economy, powered economy, and we're getting more technology and more. I just noticed a lot of us are having a lot of social anxiety, and I'm wondering if that's just because of this thick conflictive just anger and vibe that's just going, like, you feel it around people. You can't, like, where everything's taboo, you can't talk about things. I mean, is that the disconnection? Is that where we're losing our youth, because they can't talk to the elders about how they feel because it's taboo, it's something that's not okay to talk about, and you need to get your shit together? Like, really? Is that why? I would love to know your thoughts, Taboo viewers. Taboo Schitt is really focused on helping those in society that are slipping through the cracks. And with that, I mean, with Creative Uniques, I would love to help the autistic, the illiterate, people with low education, the blind, the people with social anxiety, physical disabilities, the homeless, the elders. They say there's no discrimination, but there's so much discrimination about elder people trying to get jobs. I have witnessed it firsthand, and it is absurd. I know somebody that is smarter than anybody I know in my life that worked for NASA, and when he hit a certain age had a work contract until he became an entrepreneur. Think about that. Is it because our insurance doesn't want to, and it's that much money that we are going to block the beautiful brains of our world due to money and benefits? Wow. I mean, I see a ceiling there, especially when the elders are the ones that are the wisest. You know, when you get older, you're not able to maybe multitask and think as fast, but your process of thought is deeper than any other type of perspective because you have years of experience in the world. I know that I have employees that are older and they have eagerness to do what they need to do the right way, even if it takes them slower. I'd rather have somebody do that any day than somebody that processes 200 things a day and half of them are wrong. That doesn't give me any kind of confidence in their work ethic other than they want to do whatever's fastest. And I'm not about quantity, I'm about quality. So let's throw out some statistics. You know, I just did these are just some research statistics back from 2018. Okay, I even went back a couple years because we've had some extremes going on in these last couple years. But did you know 31% of workers on disability only work part-time positions? They are only hired for part-time positions. Is that a stigma? Why is that? Why are they offered part-time positions, not full-time positions? Or is that because they only want part-time position? Or is it the ability of getting there? Is it due to the actual disability? I mean, that's a big number. 31% is a huge number of majority, especially when how many different kinds of disabilities there are in life. The disabled. Let's talk about the disabled. What does that mean? I looked up the 6 questions to identifying if you are a person of disabilities. Check this out. Let's ask these questions to ourselves. Are you deaf? Apparently you're labeled a disabled in society if you are deaf. I know that before the United States, there's people who couldn't hear that lived just fine. I mean, it's not like something brand new where people just automatically became deaf now that we made the United States. It's just now we have all these structures so they don't fit in. Like, yeah, we have different things that help, like charities and different things for the deaf and stuff, but like we are not, we are majority structured, not individually structured. And there's so many different individual quote unquote disabilities, so society calls them, that are, I would call them unique individual traits that we all have, that we can all fall in the disabilities identification questions. Like, okay, number 2, are you blind? Okay, I can tell you, I know a ton of people who have all 5 senses, are making a ton of money in a job, running people that are doing positions they have no clue what they do. I worked for people like that. So many. And you're going to tell me somebody who's blind can't provide me what I need and be as knowledgeable and do as good as a job as somebody that doesn't even know the actual job description of their own employees? You don't need to see or have eyeballs to know a job description. There's other ways to read through Braille. Somebody could say it to you. I mean, whatever it is, like, really? just because you're deaf or blind doesn't mean you're disabled. I don't believe that. Like, I don't think it's a disability. I think it means you have poor senses that are hypersensitive to supplement for that one that's missing. One. Which means 4 are enhanced when we may have all 5 senses, but they have 4 huge 5 senses, 4 huge senses. We are probably the ones that are lacking and gaining our own senses higher because we don't have the ability of maybe walking around with not being able to see, or walking around where we can't hear. You know, that's how you heighten your senses, right? We don't do those things, so we're weaker that way. They have to do them because of how they were born, and we call them disabled when really they're the fucking ones that are actually the superheroes, and they're the ones that nobody sees, or you know, and they're the ones that have no eyes, and we're the ones who can't see. Interesting. Number 3, difficulty concentrating, remembering, or making decisions. Okay, yes, that happens when you get older. So there's your older disability. Because they start to process slower. And sometimes, you know, but that's okay. It doesn't mean they're not of value. It doesn't mean they can't do jobs like everybody else. This is crazy. Like, and making decisions, I'm sorry, but I can't even, I don't know one person that knows exactly what decisions are making in life is right. I don't. I know people that know from experience who make the best decisions that they can. Because nobody knows. So really, is that really? I would say we're all disabled. Can you walk or climb stairs? So you're telling me if you can't walk or climb stairs, you're considered a disabled? Since when did walking make a difference on skills at a corporate office working at a computer, skills on the working from home on the computer? Like, there's so many different ways. Like, this is ridiculous. And then, can you dress or bathe yourself? I'm sorry, if you work from home, does that matter? No offense, but does that matter? If you bathe or dress yourself, I don't have to see you if you're getting the job done. Sorry, just saying. And then number 6, do you have difficulty doing errands alone, such as going to the doctor's office, or shopping? Well, no, any girl that goes just shopping by themselves, first of all. And you know what? I feel a little bit better going to the doctor with somebody with me. Because sometimes I have difficulty trying to explain how I'm feeling, and it helps when somebody's there to help. Because when one person thinks one way analytically, one person thinks, or just trying to speaking in a feeling type way, it's hard to be able to communicate. And sometimes that third ear is helpful. I'm not saying it's always has to be necessary or not, but this is saying even if it's difficulty doing errands alone, yeah, you know what? All females have this problem, because I don't know about you, but we're raised to be cautious at night. And I do have difficulty doing errands alone at night because I don't like being out at night. You know, it's just I'm not saying that all women are like this. I'm just like this. So I don't know. It's just, I don't think there should be a 6-question identification process to consider you are disabled, is all I'm saying. Did you know that half of people on disability are the age of 65 and older? And people on the labor force are 8 to 10, or so there's like, or 10, there's, sorry, hold on. People with disabilities are most likely to be entrepreneurs or self-employed. I wonder, Maybe because the society has built themselves to not compensate for these individuals. Overall, those with disabilities are much less likely to be hired, which is insane because when you have a disability, you don't even sometimes that's in your state, sometimes that will fall into a category where you don't even get paid minimum wage. You get paid less than minimum wage. And they get a tax break for hiring you as if you're something less of. It's ridiculous. Like, literally, they are paying employees money so they don't have to pay you full hourly wage. It's outrageous. Did you know that most disability employees are most likely given service occupations like work in production, transportation, and material moving occupations, like working at a company, at a corporate office, as if they couldn't work there, because that's not on the list. Transportation, material moving, I don't know. And then those with disabilities are less likely to work in management and professional environments. Also, this was very interesting to me. People with disabilities are more likely to work for the government. So how interesting does that the government now has control of those they deem with a disability, with their wages, their work, what they do for work, and they get paid less than minimum wage. And they're trying to help with this labor force and disability program, right? That's what they're supposed to do. This is what that's doing, right? Unemployment rates for people with disabilities are more than twice the rate of those without. Like 8% versus to 3.7. And believe this or not, those who are people with disabilities that are not part of the employment or unemployment labor force was 8 to 10 in 2018 were not in the labor force. Those who are people with disabilities that are not part of the employment or unemployment force was 8 to 10 in 2018 were not in the labor force. 8 to 10 in 2018 were not in the labor force. So only 2% of those, only 2 out of that 10 are actually being recorded on these statistics, and look how low they are. Can you imagine the ones that aren't being accounted for, the homeless, the addicts? Like, I don't get it. Like, this is crazy. All I'm saying is that our society is not, I believe we are missing out on huge breakthroughs in the world by our society boxing us in.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of judgment, there, and it's a matter of people are forgetting that people with disabilities are also people in general. Everybody's a human at the same time, whether you're born with a disability or you somehow acquire it along this journey. It is a detrimental thing to think that they're anything less.
Amen. Well said, Chance. I would love to hear your thoughts about this real shit here. And lastly, I hope you really check out Creative Uniques and all that Taboo Schitt is really trying to do with this business, this podcast, and how we hope to empower and bring value and a limitless value that we all have in ourselves, and being able to bring it out into the world. Our website is cuniques with an S at the end .com. All sales and proceeds go towards this nonprofit that we're building. And we are releasing a video of everything that I have built in the last 5 years, paycheck to paycheck, to make this happen. So thank you for listening. BK's out.
We'll see y'all later.
Taboo Schitt out.